everyone. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys part of my private practice. Like this time where I sit alone with my guitar and I start going over and um, running through some songs because I need to stay fresh. So many styles, different types of setups, venues. Uh, I mostly will be playing my acoustic guitar for a very particular reason. First, I don't have to plug anything. I listen to the guitar. I listen to the guitar. I connect to the instrument. I practice my listening to what I play. And I believe it's more of a close approach to the music. This is one of the things I need to put on my content library, on my private community. I remember I was like 12-year old, probably 11, 12-year old, and I just got a guitar. I was kind of desperate looking for a guitar. I was kind of desperate looking for a guitar because once I found how beautiful it is, I felt very curious about the guitar. I felt very attractive, like instinctively attracted to the guitar. And at some point, because I got some, in Venezuela, we had like a strong musical influence from Mexico, from Spain, from Argentina. And I remember I had on my mind a couple of um, songs and sounds from the guitar. Guitar could sound really nostalgically. So that type of nostalgia, the different sound waves and the highs and lows, and bottom line, what I was appreciating of from the guitar was what now you can call dynamics. So, and that's very impressive when you see someone playing alive, and like Stevie Ray Vaughan did. I was talking to someone yesterday about Stevie Ray Vaughan, how impressive he is. And when you see someone that is not only soloing, but when you see him doing like things like this, when you see them strumming the guitar with such personality, with so much joy and grooving in the tune, you feel complete admiration and you start asking questions to yourself. How did he come with that? How did he start doing that? What made him start doing this and that? Down the road, you start finding out that it's about the musical voice, the music identity. And you know what? The more I talk to persons, the more I play, the more I enjoy and I share the stage with great artists, great musicians, the more I realize that the connection to music is something very intimate, that there is no theory that can provide it. There is not enough ideas to create that connection. It's a matter of conscious practice, of intentional practice, of actually seeking for that. One of the things I really appreciate on persons that come and talk to me and that I see lively in so talented musicians is the possibility to express in a way unexpected, creative, very emotional. I could name a couple of persons. I don't know if that would be right. I can give so much credit to so much specific persons, but let's stick to the idea first. It's like I have seen so many persons opening a channel, letting go this much energy through the notes, through the songs. It's not only impressive. Being impressive comes to a second, third, fourth place. It's a thing that moves your guts. I believe that is what music is about. It will be very difficult for someone to connect in that deeper way with someone just by saying clever things, charming phrases, great compliments. It ain't gonna be the same. So I believe that music is a different ambition. It's not in a way of, not in a sense of projecting and being flashy or showing off what you have. No, it's more ambitious in a way that you want to feel and experience something different. And not weird stuff, by the way. Because music is what it is. It's music. It's music. You can have it in a flute. You can have it in a keyboard, or in a ukulele, or a guitar, of course, a harp. There's so many ways that you could get access to the music. However, one thing is playing a piece of someone else and doing it by the book. Understanding, I should say guessing why. Because it's just the author the songwriter is the one who can reveal exactly what was the motive. And guess what? We change our minds every now and then. So, either the motive, either the ideas or the emotions on the songs, it's just a picture in the time. Playing a song feels always fresh. It could feel repetitive and boring. Well, in that case, it could be like a different type of problem. It's not the song, it's not the playing, it's not the instrument, it's not your hands. It's your perspective on music. You should say, but I want to play. Yes, you can play. What you want to do is play, you can actually play. But expressing your voice, it's a different level. It's a whole different game. It's connecting to the inspiration, assets or ideas or emotions, and trying to express it through the guitar. And you don't have to be so good at the guitar to do that. You can actually play a very simple song and do it in a way that connects. Even, matter of fact, sometimes the lower you sound, the more attention you get. I was practicing September. It can feel always brand new if you are actually listening to your playing. And this is such a milestone that I am discovering. I mean, probably I've been doing some of these and admiring some of these, but finding a way to verbalize, communicate, and find a path for someone who wants to actually express, it definitely needs to be by educating the ear, the listening, to create this space. Being surrounded of too many notes could be even boring. You can get kind of, your eyes can get very flashed from too much impressive moves. But as I was listening yesterday to a video, mm, sometimes we just cannot even remember how was that sounding like. We just, we get into a song, or we get in front of someone who is playing too many notes, and we get out of there with empty hands. Has it happened to you? Now, sometimes we see young songwriters, young artists, they do simple, we call it simple stuff. They're never simple. We see them, we believe doing simple stuff, but once you stop and you're listening to them and you connect to them, that's the next step of the game. You don't have to be highly skilled. Okay, so silence, I believe silence, it's a major part in here. Probably this is one of the reasons why going to the next step could be costing this much. Because you have to choose, there's, I believe this is just two paths. You go through someone else's path, or you just create your own. Well, I will be very, I'm sure that when someone gets a guitar, when someone buys a guitar, they actually want to start a new path in their life. They I want to believe most of them, they want to go their own road, playing their instrument and doing their own thing, themselves. But as they start realizing how many persons they have played the guitar before and they have done this and that, they could get sometimes disencouraged. I want to be helpful to spark that light, that's to spark that that initial engagement again. The first time I heard Bossa Nova, I listened to Bossa Nova. first time I heard bossa nova, I listened to bossa nova. That was a whole new thing for me, and I started to dive deep, like listening. In order to choose what is our next step, what is our next note, what is our next chord, we need to speak the same language that the other person is talking. In order to find out what is the next lick to use, what is the next volume, frequency, intensity, dynamic, we need to speak the same emotional language that the other person is talking. Probably that's, I don't know if that's my biggest find here in music, but if I was to decide to choose what to understand better, that would be my choice. Because that's the only way I could definitely use the music purposefully. I know persons that they know this language, they know what they do, they know how to do it. But this is an unwritten language. It's not written. Because in the moment that you're performing, this is a very unique moment, and you just have to actually have your tools and your foundation blocks handy and be yourself and use them as the emotional vibe is dictating it. Sometimes you are following the vibe, sometimes you're leading the vibe. And that's different. Well, it just cannot be a surface level approach or conversation because we're not speaking mathematics, we're not speaking math. You just cannot step in front of an audience and start saying, oh, now I'm going to a diminished chord, because the diminished chord has this position on the scale, and this listen to this diminished chord now. You will lose your audience, and you will probably lose yourself, drown into just information. Well, that's probably the main point that I am discovering that people is looking for by playing an instrument. And that's what we're going to be discussing on July 29th on my masterclass. I'll keep practicing. Let's do the live on my personal account. So, oh shoot. Ujú. Yo creo que es consecuencia. No está. Live practice. Yeah. Okay, 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 okay. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. So this is part of my live practice. I believe every day until July 29th, I'm gonna be offering a live, answering questions, practicing on my private practice on myself, like going over some songs and remembering some chords and kind of connecting to my own guitar, like I'm doing as I preach. We have to play the guitar like we have to get our own moment. I mean, see, there's a very important difference between just practicing to get better at the guitar and practicing to speak, to deliver a message in a better way with what we play. It's a very different thing. So we can be playing the guitar, we can practice from triads to scales to actual chords, chord transitions. That's very important. You have many ways to get that knowledge and, you know, practice, like repetitively practice. I believe there is no other way but practicing what it makes you a better player in a technical way. However, one thing is to use your hands with the guitar and repeat some patterns and I mean doing this and that just to sound better. That's great. That's a first level. But we can bypass very much frustration and actually get, if we ever had in the first place the goal of communicating, expressing, connecting with others with the guitar, there's some shortcuts we could have, and the difference comes from the intention which we use in order to play our guitar. The intention that we put on our practice is going to make our difference when we play the guitar in front of others. So all of those topics we're going to go over on this July 29th masterclass. So if you want to have a sneak peek on how my practice, my private practice looks like on a regular basis, um, you can have it on my personal Facebook, which is public, and you can take a look at that. What I was mentioning in the beginning was that some people are looking for their own path to their musical voice with their guitar or with their instrument. Practice is important, but we need to put some foundations in our practice in order for it to be intentional and get the real outcome we were looking in the first place. If you're looking to express yourself, to sound like you, to take a look at who you are playing the guitar, not by repeating others' patterns or following some formulas, which is really good. You can do that anytime. Expressing ourselves with the guitar is something that depends on reading a different language in our playing, reading and interpreting, reading and expressing, following a different cue, an emotional cue on the song, on what is going in our heads, in our hearts, and in the audience. Okay? That's what we're going to be discussing on July 29th masterclass. The link is right here, so if you click, you're gonna get more details on the masterclass page. So if you have a song, for example, if you have a song very meaningful for you, if you actually play the guitar, let's get together. Let's take a look at your song. What makes it so special to you? How would you like to sound by playing that song? What would you like to find out? What would you like to learn in regards of that song? That's a thing we could discuss. So take advantage for those who haven't signed up or they are deciding to dedicate to themselves 1 or 2 hours on July 29th. We can have a quick look to what you're looking for this time prior to the masterclass day, and you can figure out what is best for you. With that said, today's Thursday. I'm gonna be rehearsing at Pinellas Community Church, and I believe it was a productive day. I just took some rest I needed and getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Everyday People is gonna be at Cigars International. I'm gonna be at a private event down in Bradenton. Saturday at Con Amor and Donatello. Sunday, I'm playing at the service in the church, and I'm playing also in Casa del Pane. So it's gonna be a busy day. I'm thankful for that. See you guys soon. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Like Blackbird. Oh, like Paramore. So what's Polyphia? I'm not good with Polyphia. Blackbird is mad easy. Yobus Street. Hey, Yobus Street. Hendrix from Mateo Zazaro. That's good. I'm playing the classical. This is different. Hey, Yobus Street. Take a look at this masterclass link to see if that works for you and if there's something you can take out of that. Tomorrow I'm gonna have another